obviously, Hillary Clinton, in many cases, was kind of counting her chickens before they hatched back in 2016. She was already talking about cabinet officials and having conversations with potential cabinet officials. Joe Biden, it seems, has been less presumptive that he's going to win. But reports have been trickling out as far as who Biden is going to pick in his cabinet, who Biden would pick throughout different departments and what have you. And one thing I do agree with Elizabeth Warren on, not many, is, personnel is policy. So Joe Biden could talk till he's blue in the face about, I want to extend FDR's legacy and we're going to build back better, which was a wonderful consultant pull-tested phrase that they came up with. But who he surrounds himself with, and if you've been following us, I've been telling you, campaign's been advised by Lawrence Summers, a just Hall of Fame member of the neoliberal gang. He was with Bill Clinton's administration, pushing NAFTA, the repeal of Glass-Steagall. He was with the Obama administration, instrumental on the crappy stimulus, which didn't go far enough. Biden's campaign has also been advised by Robert Rubin, who was Treasury Secretary to Bill Clinton, another neoliberal hack. Biden's potential chief of staff will be Ron Klain, by all reports, who comes from the private equity and Wall Street industry. So, I guess you could say nothing will fundamentally change. And before heads explode, as always, I ain't telling you how to vote. And me reporting on Biden's corruption does not mean I'm saying Donald Trump is any better. But I'm not going to close my eyes, count to 10, and wait till the election passes to tell the truth about Joe Biden. Other people could do that. I'm not going to. So, Joe Biden, from everything that's been out so far, seems to be trying to stack his potential administration with a just Hall of Fame crew of Wall Street neoliberal globalizers who, throw out progressive platitudes, but in practice are just servants of Wall Street. Well, the American Prospect, which does great work, by the way, broke this morning. Ooh, Joe Biden is considering Governor of Rhode Island, Gina Raimondo. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but I don't think I'm. Gina Raimondo of Rhode Island. Now, for those of you that don't live in Rhode Island, you might not know who Gina Raimondo is. I actually covered the Rhode Island primary in 2016 on the ground, so I know a little bit about her. But if Mitt Romney is like Mr. Bain Capital, then Gina Raimondo is like Miss Bain Capital. Or Miss Goldman Sachs, shall we say. I'll read a little bit from the American Prospect story and then tell you more. This would not be a good thing. Joe Biden's transition team has informed Democratic officials that Gina Raimondo, the centrist governor of Rhode Island, I don't know if she's centrist, is under consideration as the next Secretary of the Treasury should Biden win the election. Raimondo, in her second term as governor, dazzled Biden's campaign in interviews to become his vice president in June. A former venture capitalist who took the governor's mansion on the strength of millions of dollars in Wall Street donations, Raimondo's name will stir the long memories of union leaders. They have held a grudge with her for years over her tenure as state treasurer, when she cut pension benefits for public employees while steering over $1 billion in state money to hedge fund investments. Let me repeat that. When she cut pension benefits for public employees while state treasurer, while steering over $1 billion in state money to hedge fund investors. And for a little bit more on that, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Matt Brown attacked pension cuts for state employees dating back to Governor Raimondo's previous role as state treasurer at a town hall. Despite those setbacks, an overwhelming majority of attendees, many of whom were retired teachers, responded to Brown's proposals and critiques of Governor Raimondo with excitement, and many expressed a sense of betrayal at the governor's previous management of the pension fund. In 2011, Raimondo told with announced adjustments for 2 decades as well as invest more than $1 billion in retirement assets in hedge funds for hybrid 401k style retirement plans. Well, that's how I want my retirement spent, being milked into a hybrid with hedge fund goons. Change you could believe in, Rhode Island. So let's get a little bit more. But recalling those hard feelings may be the point. One source theorized to the prospect that leaking Raimondo's name could make Federal Reserve Governor Lael Brainard, until now seen as the leading possibility for Treasury Secretary, seem more palatable. Brainard, who worked at Treasury under Tim Geithner, has been attempting to portray a more liberal public image as the decision approaches. Progressives have endorsed other names for Treasury Secretary, the most prominent being Senator Warren, Elizabeth Warren. Others being discussed include Atlanta Federal Reserve Chair Raphael Bostic and blah, 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 blah. Whether legitimate or a trial balloon with an ulterior motive, Raimondo's mention has already triggered opposition in progressive circles. Quote, Raimondo has built her career on subservience to Wall Street, and her selection would be an affront to organized labor, said David Segal, executive director of Demand Progress, a leading progressive organization, blah, 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 blah. He's also a former member of the Providence City Council and state representative in Rhode Island. In a statement, a Biden transition spokesperson said the Biden-Harris transition team is not making any personal decisions, yada, yada, yada. Raimondo, 49, graduated magna cum laude at Harvard, so she's got the meritocracy down to a T, and was a Rhodes Scholar at Oxford. She served as senior vice president at Village Ventures, a Massachusetts VC firm backed by Bain Capital, Mitt Romney fame, and later joined another firm named Point Judith Capital before entering politics. So her history with state pensions while serving as Rhode Island's treasurer from 2011 to 2015 might be more notable. Raimondo aggressively pursued a pension overhaul that cut benefits for those already retired and froze cost of living adjustments. She then transferred 14% of the state fund to hedge fund investments, including Dan Loeb's Third Point Capital and Paul Singer, a billionaire, Elliott Management. Loeb and Singer subsequently enjoyed tens of millions in fees from a state Raimondo presented as so cash-strapped that public employees would have to give back benefits they earned through a lifetime of toil. The hedge fund investments, meanwhile, wound up underperforming the stock market. So, bottom line, Raimondo is a private equity vulture. And here's the thing. American Prospect, which is very clued in, so I take what they say correctly, could be two scenarios here. Biden's camp is floating a really reprehensible person, and I'm going to tell you more about her, Gina Raimondo, as a way, not actually intending to bring her on as Treasury Secretary, but to outrage progressives so much that when they actually put through who they really want, which is Lael Brainard, it will be more palatable. I reported on Lael Brainard, I think last week or the week before. She is a alumni of the Bill Clinton administration, of Obama's administration. She was actually tasked with executing NAFTA. You remember NAFTA? Sold your jobs if you live in Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, parts of the Northeast, parts of the Southeast. Sold your jobs to China, Mexico, and elsewhere. Was basically written by banks. Well, Lael Brainard was the gal who helped execute NAFTA. She also is a champion of the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which I've been telling you didn't really come up in the debates because, frankly, I don't know what Bernie was doing. He didn't attack Biden on NAFTA, TPP, and other things that much. And, frankly, Trump hasn't gone after Biden on NAFTA and TPP that much. But Lael Brainard is a champion of the TPP. So if she gets in as Treasury Secretary, TPP is happening. They'll change a sentence or two. It'll go through. The AFL-CIO in 2015 said the TPP would be the final nail in the coffin of organized labor in this country. Very important. Joe Biden is for the TPP. He kind of played dumb during the primary when asked about it, but he was trying to get Hillary Clinton in 2016 to stand by the TPP when she ran, and as recently as 2018, he was talking about the TPP. Biden is a fan of globalization. He pretends to be a union man. He pretends to be, I'm Scranton Joe, look at my lunch bucket. No, he sold all those workers out offshore. And if Lael Brainard becomes Treasury Secretary, it ain't going to be good. It ain't going to be good.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.